Boruto chapter 11 just came out. And this chapter was absolutely crazy. This is an action-packed chapter, and it's the sort of chapter that makes you wonder how they're really going to cook up the anime, and it makes you want to beg them to take their time with all of the content that is going to be adapted, because we are just 11 chapters into the time skip, and the amount of action that we have already received throughout these chapters is absolutely crazy. If you compare these 11 chapters to Boruto Next Generation, basically Boruto Part 1, and you compare those 11 chapters, which was mostly the Momoshiki arc, you would see that it doesn't even compare to the first few chapters that we received with the Boruto time skip, as what we're seeing right here is a generational run that Kishimoto and Ikimoto have been cooking up over these past few days, as what they are doing is absolutely phenomenal, and we're getting a lot more hype and a lot more attention in the Japanese regard, as this chapter's cover was literally leaked on Japanese national TV. This was something that is completely groundbreaking, and I've never seen this happen before. Maybe it happened with other popular series like Naruto or One Piece in the past, but especially in this new gen era, I have never seen something like that happen before, and it is absolutely warranted. Boruto has been going crazy, and the love that it has been receiving from the Japanese fan base has been increasing volume after volume. So let's just jump into the chapter which the cover was already leaked, but now we have the HD version. The title of this chapter is True Power, as we are truly starting to see just how strong the Shinju are, and this is what I truly wanted. And this chapter and everything that we're constantly seeing, you guys have to take the sneak peeks, and everything that we are seeing, you have to take it chapter by chapter. You have to go with the full context to truly understand what is going on, because with everything that we're starting to see happen in this chapter, and the reception, and a lot of people communicating that the Boruto characters are just strong with no reason behind it, we are seeing that their strength, although it is great, it is nothing to the level of the Shinju, and it makes perfect sense. So all of the people who are complaining about the power cliffing, this chapter really gives us a good sense of how strong the Shinju truly are in comparison to the characters around us. So we have a Hidari. This chapter cover, it is one of my favorite covers that has been released. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I really love the background that we have here, a Jidori of darkness, and that's the perfect theme that we're starting to see with Hidari. If you check Sasuke's Jidori, you would see that it would be more blue, but if you check out this cover and also the V-Jump promo, you would see that Hidari's Jidori, although it does possess the lightnings that are infamous to the Jidori, we do see something different in the sense of the darkness that is surrounded with that Jidori. I really like what we're seeing right here. I find that to be a very interesting gimmick that they have chosen to have. We have a Hidari. Although the pose isn't something too fantastic, I really like what we are seeing here. All the Shinju have their own color scheme, and this looks to perfection. I really enjoy this cover. So I'd rate this cover a cool 8.5 to 8. If Hidari maybe had a more dynamic pose, it would be a 10 out of 10. I really love the background. This is one of my favorite backgrounds that we have personally seen when it comes to Hidari and the time skip in general. So the chapter continues right where we left off, and we see an Inogen who has been impaled, a Jura who is chilling there, and Himawari, who we all want to see exactly what powers this truly is. And Jura is also curious with Team 10, that is quite curious apart from Inogen because he is impaled at the moment. We have a Himawari who is calm, cool, and collected, and then we have a Shikadai who's like, yo, wasn't your leg broken? But now all of a sudden she can walk, and this goes back to the healing powers of the Nine Tails, and we know that these healing powers are to a different level from anything that we have seen in the past, but we'll get there as time progresses, as Himawari is now able to passively control her hair to perform various movements. This is quite different from characters like Naruto who had chakra arms that were appearing. However, this is her physical hair, and she's able to use it in a similar fashion to a character like Jiraiya or even Kaguya, and she uses her hair to remove Inogen from that impaled pound stick. And then we have an Inogen who is healing and then is completely healed using Himawari's powers. We see a Shikida who's shocked. It's like, hold on, the wounds are closed. What is going on? What is the type of power that she has? And then we have Himawari who's like, yo, I don't know if it's completely fixed. Y'all do go and take him to the hospital. And this is a very interesting piece of information that is revealed. Although you may call me that I'm reaching here, maybe we might see Sakura. The only person who I can think of at the current moment that the authors could be drawn to when it says take him to the hospital, maybe I'm reaching, it has to be Sakura in my opinion, because Sakura is the head of the Konoha medical facilities. She is the one who is overseeing everything with Tsunade, who has gone into retirement. And then we have a Jura who is like, yo, you should this is exactly what you guys were supposed to do from the beginning. I do know that you guys have all this type of IQ, and I don't know why you guys didn't come to this conclusion far before. This would really not have happened if you guys just used the intelligence and IQ that you guys have and come up with a rational decision. Chocho is completely disagreeing with what Himawari and Shikidai are talking about, saying that nah, I'm not really going to leave Himawari alone. And I do understand that position, bro. Himawari is 12, I'm 15 in that instance. I'm not leaving the young girl over there, but she is simply stronger, and you being around would just be somebody who is holding her back from using her true powers. Shikidai was able to understand that. And then we have a Jura who literally says, a wise decision, Nara Shikidai. I shall remember your name, and let's hope we meet each other again. I don't know what Jura is talking about, but most definitely Shikida is not trying to meet him again. And I really like this aspect of Jura's character. Jura is somebody who has his goals in mind, and he's going to do everything to achieve them. However, he won't do anything unnecessary. It is really unnecessary for him to have to go and attack Shikida, Chocho. No, Inogen was forcing it. He really didn't want to hurt them, but Inogen forced it, and we have what happened to him. But thankfully, Himawari was able to bring him back. Are we going to be mad that that's actually the case? No, we literally saw Sasuke impale Naruto's heart, or just simply his chest, and we had a Naruto who literally healed from that. And then we have Himawari who has those same powers, and Naruto, even in the war arc, when he gave his chakra to the people around him, it literally healed them. So it makes perfect sense what we're seeing right now, and I have no issues with it at all. I really like the dialogue that is associated with Jura. Jura is really personally my favorite Shinju. I know a lot of people is going to be Hidari. Just please don't tell me your favorite Shinju is Matsuri or Bug. Matsuri does have a very elaborate character design if you have seen some various fan art on Twitter. However, when it comes to the dialogue and the way somebody talks, Jura really has that, as he literally says, I know that you guys are not complete idiots, which is why he simply doesn't understand why people with such an IQ are able to make the wrong decisions over and over again. And it is simply the truth. He's low-key like us, the readers, who are looking at the situation and being very unbiased and are like, yo, why are you making this decision right now? And Jura is literally the embodiment of that. And I really like the fact that we're having such a character who is this smart. I really like Jura. He's honestly like, he could really end up being one of my favorite villains in the series. Momoshiki, to me, he just has that aura. Ishiki was cool, he had that aura too, but I low-key prefer Momoshiki when it comes to the fact, especially with the Borushiki plotline. I really love Momoshiki for that. However, when it comes to just being like the main villain, I really like what we're seeing with Jura. His aura is unmatched, and thus he is ranking up to be one of my favorite villains that we have seen in the Boruto series as of yet. I really do pray and hope that he gets that Naruto villain treatment where we have a character with absolute depth. We don't need a crazy backstory, as we already know the backstory. They come from the Shinju, but their goals and what they want to do in the future, that is what I believe is clearly going to be important when it comes to the development of the Shinju and their personal writing when it comes to them as conscious beings. But we continue where we just left off, and we have a Jura who is kind of like perplexed at what exactly he is seeing Himawari perform. He's like, yo, I don't know exactly where this power is coming from, but you do your thing and let's just see what happens. Then Himawari launches her first attack, and then we have a Jura whose legs start to crumble. He is still intact, and then Himawari launches another punch, and then Jura is sent flying away. And I really like the paneling, I really like the art style here. I'm so happy that we are away from the village. You can hate it or not, but I just don't like us being at the village 24/7. We are able to now see those destructive feats, things around breaking. I really like the fact that we are seeing that, and Himawari is going crazy. She pushes Jura away, and then we have a Jura who is trying to make his way to Himawari. Himawari reacts to that and starts creating her Tail Beast Bomb. And we have a Jura who is aware of the Tail Beast Bomb that has been created, so he then stops and creates his own Tail Beast Bomb from his eye. Himawari creates her Tail Beast Bomb from her hair, and then we have a Jura who creates his Tail Beast Bomb from his eye. I really like what we see right here. Both of them end up using it. We see the ground around Himawari starts to break, indicating the sort of power that she is releasing, and I really like that. When we say that Ikimoto draws a lot of inspiration from Toriyama and Dragon Ball Z, we can clearly see it right here. We literally, this is something that you would see in Dragon Ball. This is something that you would see in Dragon Ball. Goku, who is using his Kamehameha, and then we have the ground around him breaking. I really like the inclusion of that. This chapter is a really strong chapter art-wise. I really like what Ikimoto is doing. I will always praise Ikimoto, and when I have my own personal gripes, I will be the one to fully let you guys know what I don't like. But what we're seeing right here, I love it. I love what we're seeing. We have a large attack, and we see everything. Like, look at Jura and Himawari. They look very small in comparison to the blast that has been unleashed. And this blast, they went toe-to-toe. It equaled each other out. We don't see a blast that ends up penetrating through and hitting the other, and it goes and it collides in the air. Then Team 10 ends up looking back at the attack, and they're like, hold on, shoot, what is Himawari doing? Hold on, what is Himawari cooking? And we have a Shikadai who is kind of perplexed. We see him sweating a little bit, we see him kind of concerned, and we just see Himawari. Bro, when this gets animated, whew, I'll probably stream my reaction, because it probably will be crazy, but I just hope I don't scream too much and ruin my aura. However, we have a Jura who simply tanks it, and I really like this ominous panel of Jura that we have right here. I love the shading that Ikimoto does. This is something that is absolutely brilliant. But we have a Jura who is also concerned about, yo, how is she also able to use a Biju Bomb? This isn't something that a Jinchuriki would be able to use. Although it makes sense, we're like, damn, hold on, how is she able to do it so quickly? Jura does notice that, and we will have a video breaking down everything, how it all makes sense. But in this video, we're just giving our reactions and going through the chapter. But I really like that. I really like the inclusion. Jura, like, bro, he's just too ominous. Look at this panel. You can't tell me you aren't a little scared. Be for real. And we have a Jura who literally headsbutt Himawari, pushes her back, and then Jura seems to disappear. Himawari barely reacts. Himawari is trying to regain her balance, and then we have a Jura who literally just hits her head and literally pummels her to the ground. And this is starting to look like a beatdown. Exactly what I was saying. There is no way Himawari is literally beating Jura. I don't know where people actually started believing this fight is to show the potential that Himawari has. So in the future, we do see Himawari start to use her crazy abilities. Remember, she didn't even use the Byakugan. So imagine when she used the Byakugan alongside those powers that she has due to being one with Kurama. I've never seen a character in Naruto who had the Byakugan and also had the Nine Tails powers. Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I can't look back enough, but let me know, has there ever been a character who has Kurama's powers alongside the Byakugan? Is going to be very interesting to see how Himawari progresses, and the potential that she has is astronomical, and the sky's only the limit. But Jura's like, yo, okay, Himawari, you do show power, so maybe just a little bit. I'll show you a little bit of my true power. And what does it mean? It means that Jura wasn't trying. Jura is the type of character that, depending on your power level and depending on the interest that he has with you, he will use his power accordingly. If you're like Team 10, you're weak, yo, I don't even need to use my true power. I can just chill out, let you do your attacks, and yeah, I'll destroy you eventually. You feel me? I don't really care. But Himawari is displaying some new powers, is displaying something that is kind of interesting to Jura, especially since he also is the incarnation of the Tail Beast. We have a very interesting dynamic between Jura and Himawari, and this is why I don't feel like this arc is near an end. I don't think that Boruto is just simply going to defeat Hidari and and Jura in the next chapter. I just can't see that happening. So, this chapter is just looking peak, man. Like, I already read the chapter before. I have the chapter in my hand right now. And the more I think, the more I just see the beauty of this chapter. And Ikimoto and Kijimoto are simply cooking. I've been loving everything I've been seeing so far, so let's just continue on with the rest of the chapter. As now we go back to Hidari and Sarada. We go back to Hidari and Sarada's like, yo, I gave you a fatal injury. Start talking. She's like, yo, I took care of you real quick. It's something like, let's get to talking. Let's find out who you really are. Hidari isn't any regular villain. He is part of the Shinju group. He is going to be going crazy. And it does confirm exactly what I was saying. Although we did see a Sarada who went crazy and everybody was like, yo, Sarada's the strongest Uchiha. Everybody is like, yo, the powers clipping in Boruto makes no sense. How is Sarada able to react to Hidari? It literally makes no sense. We get the explanation. Sarada was able to do so because Hidari was experiencing tunnel vision due to him not having the Sharingan. You need the Sharingan in order to be able to use the Chidori, and Hidari has the Rinnegan, and the Rinnegan and the Sharingan are not the same thing. Although it follows a natural progression, when you have the Rinnegan, you no longer have those Sharingan abilities, and this is exactly what we're seeing right here, as literally Hidari says that he needs the Sharingan in order to be able to control that ability, and that is why Sarada with her Sharingan was able to perfectly react to Hidari, because Hidari was tunnel vision and couldn't react to any of the movements that Sarada was making while he was using the Chidori. And we have some interesting writing right here. We have a Hidari who is not aware of Sasuke, so it means that Hidari has no memories that are connected with Sasuke, and he is here just to find out exactly who he is. So the question is, if he does absorb Sarada, does it mean that he will be able to unlock those memories, or is it something different? They're clearly wanting a target, and their target is not for power, it's not for some sort of goal that has to do with money and riches or to conquer the planet. It simply has to do with understanding this world and understanding who they truly are. We have a character like Jura who spent all his time reading books. Why? So that he can understand this shinobi world that he is currently living in. And we have a Hidari who expresses something that is quite similar, that has to do with him understanding exactly who he is. The writing that we are seeing from the Shinju, you had to start paying attention and catching on to the writing clues and the character clues that we are getting from each Shinju individually, so that in the future when we get these massive quotes like Madara with Obito, you will truly be able to understand just exactly what these characters' goals are and what they are trying to achieve. As what the Shinju are trying to achieve is not only to understand the world around them, but it is to understand themselves exactly. And this is very interesting, and I love the path that we are getting from the Shinju. I'm telling you, watch out for the Shinju, man. They might just be iconic in the next 3 to 4 years. And we continue on with the chapter, and what is quite interesting is that we have a Sumire who immediately comes to understand everything that is going on. I don't know if this is an ability or just her high IQ and her deductive reasoning, but she is able to instantly figure out that the target, even with smart characters like my fault, I'm not gonna Konohamaru to that bracket. I don't know if you got the IQ like that, I'm sorry. But even with smart characters like Sarada, she was not able to deduce the fact that she was the one being targeted. The person who did that was Sumire. So Sumire's intellect, I don't know exactly if it's an ability where she's able to sense the negative emotions as she was able to do with Due, but negative emotions doesn't necessarily entail a person's target. So I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's just IQ, a combination of both. But yeah, Sumire does possess the deductive reasoning, and she is the one who calls out that the target of Hidari is Sarada. We continue on with Hidari, who learns from his lesson, and we're starting to see that the Shinju are super smart, and this is something that I didn't really expect to happen with these characters. We see that they're very adaptable. Hidari has understood that he can't use the Chidori, especially against a character like Sarada, due to her having the Sharingan and being able to react to his moves. So what does he use? He uses the claw marks. And finally, we have somebody smart. Finally, this ability that Code has is given to a smart character in the series who can adapt. Because Code has some crazy abilities, crazy powers, but just like Amato said, he is not the smartest guy. he is not the smartest guy out there. And we're starting to see smart guys use his ability to precise and to perfection. As Sarada has been electrocuted, I don't know if it's by the Hidari or just simply a lightning style ability. Yeah, it has to be a lightning style ability. My fault. It is not the Hidari, but it is quite interesting in the manner in which he is using his abilities. He ends up using fire style to prevent the other guy, a random shinobi who was about to use earth style against him, just displaying his speed. So right now we only have a few characters who have been able to react to somebody like Hidari, and you have to start paying attention to these moments so that you can catch on the power scaling and what the authors are trying to display. We have a Sarada who was able to react to the Hidari. Although Hidari was tunnel vision, you have to keep that in mind. And later now we have a Konohamaru who everybody loves to clown, and I will give him his praise whenever I can, but Konohamaru ends up trying to use the Rasengan on Hidari. Hidari easily slips. However, Konohamaru, who we have a Hidari who uses Jidori from Konohamaru's blind side, but Konohamaru was still able to react and ended up turning his Rasengan into a wind style Rasen Brigade, and it is some sort of brigade or protection style jutsu that protected him from the Jidori, although he was still pushed back and ended up hitting one of the buildings. We have a Hidari who then again uses another ability, another lightning style ability to electrocute Sumire, and now Sumire is down. We have both Sarada and Sumire who are down, with Sarada who is saying that she can't move her body. So this must be some sort of ability, a lightning style ability that paralyzes the user. I haven't seen Sasuke use such an ability before, but it just could be some simple lightning style. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but if there is an ability that matches it to Sasuke, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below so I can end up knowing. And we end up going back to Jura and Himawari. Jura is literally just abusing her at this point because there's no point. Jura is literally trying just a little bit and Himawari simply can't keep up. But what's quite interesting is the abilities that we're starting to see displayed from Himawari. It seems like Jura has used a beast bomb from point blank range. However, we barely see Himawari take damage, and that's just because of her crazy regeneration skills. And this is exactly what Jura is starting to state. However, she is quite weak according to Jura, which is crazy. And although she has the potential, even Kurama says that at the current moment, she is still too weak to be able to face somebody like Jura. So all of you guys who are crying saying that, oh, Himawari's 12, how is she able to go against somebody like Jura? Everything has been answered. Although she has high potential, she doesn't have the hard work to back up everything that we have been seeing. So if you're gonna cry about Himawari being able to go crazy, we're still seeing Kijimoto give the writing established for Himawari and for characters like Sarada, but they still haven't reached that peak level of strength, although there is a time skip that is behind them. So I am tired and I don't want to hear any comments saying that, oh, the power cliffing is too crazy. What is happening right now? We're seeing the progression being done day by day. And this is just my personal graph with the fan base and everything we see on various apps like Twitter and various comment sections on my videos. You guys wouldn't survive with Naruto back in the days, because especially with something that we used to get weekly, you would see certain moments would happen one week and then you'd be like, oh shoot, how is that even possible? And then the next week we get the explanation. People simply can't wait and let the chapters build up so we can have the context behind everything that is going on. You can't get mad too easily, although you can be like, yo, this doesn't make sense to me, I don't understand how it's going on. But to write off and say that, oh, it makes no sense and Kijimoto is writing garbage, I really don't understand where this stance comes from. And exactly what we're seeing, after we get the context, after we get the explanation, things start to make a lot of sense. And in the last few pages, we have a Delta and we have a Kawaki. And this duo, this has to be the worst duo of all times. How many L's must they keep on taking? How many losses are they gonna continue to take in the future? Because they're absolute trash. And Delta recognizes this. I can't have Kawaki be my leader. Look, Kawaki, you already got beaten up. Is there a new strategy? Is there something new that you're going to do? But Kawaki's like, nah, I really don't got a new type of strategy. I really don't know what I'm about to do. However, because this is Himawari, I have to go. And this is great for Kawaki's character. He still remains a good-hearted person. However, if he deems something to be the right decision because it leads to the better consequence, then he is going to act up upon it. But it doesn't mean that he has forsaken the people like Himawari who have nothing involved in this. But this is something that we see that is absolutely crazy, because just again, we have a Kawaki and Delta who are absolutely going as fast as possible. Kawaki heard that Himawari was in danger, so he did his best for him to be able to go there as quick as possible for him to be able to save Himawari from Jura. But we have a Boruto who does the same thing and absolutely flies past Delta and Kawaki, who are only able to react to him after he is already gone. And Kawaki's like, yo, hold on, what's happening, Boruto? And this will go down as one of the greatest things I've seen before, because this is absolutely crazy. A lot of people are going to say, yo, what is Boruto going to do? Because we have a Hidari and we have a Jura who are fighting people that Boruto both cares about. We have Sarada and we have Himawari. What is Boruto going to do to save them? And the answer is simple. He goes first to go and save his little sister, Himawari. Jura does react, but doesn't do too much to prevent that from happening. Then after he does so, we have Hidari, who is planning on devouring Sarada Uchiha, who is currently paralyzed. And then Boruto uses the Flying Raijin, which is a useful ability. I love seeing this. It's a very useful ability, and uses it to go to the symbol of the square and teleport there so that he can go and save yet another person. And we have this will go down as one of the iconic moments. Please don't sell in the anime. If this one is sold, bruh, we have to go to a new studio. Let's go to Mappa. You feel me? However, we have an epic panel of Boruto who has Himawari in his hands and is literally slicing off Hidari's hand to save Sarada. And yet again, we have a cold, ominous Boruto who looked at Hidari with a cold ass expression. And they say, Otsutsuki Boruto. Yes, they are referring to Boruto yet again as an Otsutsuki. Boruto is chilling there and is about to look Hidari in the eyes. And yeah, this is crazy to me, man. This is absolutely crazy. This chapter is peak, man. Damn. I don't know, bro. He's about to go crazy, but I'm scared. I do think like Boruto, he's been going crazy, but yo, he's been going a little too crazy, bro. I like you glaze Boruto. I completely understand. There's nothing wrong with glazing Boruto. We just keep getting better stuff every month. However, this is a problem, and not a problem writing wise, because every character has been written to a good degree in the time skip so far. However, this is a problem stamina wise, bro. We have a Boruto who this time shows expression. He is not cold. He is not showing a lack of care, just like he did with Code. He is mad this time. We have a Boruto who is showing expressions of anger, and he wants to take them down. And now I really wonder what's gonna happen. We have the Momoshiki plot point that is still underway, and it seems that Kawaki and Delta are going to go and fight Jura and hold him back at the moment, leaving a 1v1 between Hidari and Boruto. So what really is going to happen? We're just gonna have to wait another month, man. And it hurts a little bit to say this, but this is peak, man. I'm gonna rate this. Honestly, I don't really care about other people's rating. This is a 9. This is a 9 to 10, bro. Like, I don't want to give every chapter a 10, but as I'm going back reading this, like, I have nothing bad to say about the chapter. I see the writing. I see what we're going off. This is a build-up chapter, building up to this next chapter, which is going to be peak, the end of a volume. If the cliffhanger for the next volume is going to be crazy, so I truly wonder what is going to be happening next chapter. Boruto versus Hidari. Who's winning? Let me know who's winning, Boruto versus Hidari. This is going to be quite interesting. But it's been your boy, Dynasty in the building, and I'm out, bruh.